Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello, and we are live on the Miguel and Holly YouTube, Facebook page, on the Hits 961 Facebook page as well. Make sure, if you are listening on a podcast platform, to leave us a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate it. And a review. Always love those. Really helps out. And also check out our other podcasts that we have for like Miguel and Holly Full Show, Miguel and Holly Blown Off, Queen City Confessions, Am I the A-Hole? So many more. So make sure to give us a listen.
Very specialized ones.
Absolutely. All right. So we are back from Vegas for the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Lord Top Life already coming in and said, morning, y'all hungover. I'm not hungover. I'm just tired. I feel like obviously that Vegas time and Eastern time really messes with you.
It does.
Holly, how
it
are you
really
feeling?
does. Same. Like the time, I'm tired today. But like I was just off in Vegas. I was not able to make that time leap and make my body make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was rough. But Laura, I was hungover as fuck yesterday.
I always get sick. A West Coast to East Coast trip. Always. Always.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bad. Like I had not been hungover like that. And I don't even know how long. I don't even know. It was gross. Anyway.
Oh,
love that for you.
Thankfully, I wasn't like that hungover. I feel like I didn't.
Like how?
Well, just probably because I drink on the weekends anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't.
You got some you got some practice.
Yeah. So like, I didn't over drink. Just because I knew that, with all the fun that we were having, it's also a work trip. And there were lots of people from higher up that we hadn't met that we were meeting for the first time. So I didn't want their only memory of me was, slurring my words and stuff like that. So I wanted to like keep my druthers about myself and make sure that I wasn't like too crazy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I ever acted a fool.
No, not at all.
Like that's because I obviously didn't want that either. And first of all, Friday night, I never really got drunk. I was just at a good level of kind of tipsy. And then I ended up leaving before the show was even over because I was just like, my body was like, bitch, you tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't stay up anymore. I was starting to not feel good just from being tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, I was like, okay, we're going to try to make this. I had a 5-hour energy. And the problem was I had been drinking a couple of seltzers, which that's my wheelhouse. A hard seltzer is my wheelhouse, like Truly or White Claw or Bud Light Seltzer or whatever, any brand, I'll do that. But then we got to that like bar where had been standing at. They didn't have seltzers, but the bartender was like, I'll make you a homemade seltzer. That homemade seltzer had like a cup of vodka in it. And while I appreciate what he was trying to do, I was also like, oh man. So I don't think I got drunk. I don't ever think I was like making an ass out of myself. But like that amount of alcohol and my body still not getting enough sleep, it was a bad combination. By the time I sort of Irish exited, the group walked back to the hotel that night. I made myself throw up in the hotel room.
Oh,
we're getting the real behind the scenes. Yeah. This was not on the Miguel and Holly Insta page.
No. And that was because I felt so nauseous and I was so mad at myself for like feeling that way. And like back in the day before I understood like hydration, I would I was always a next day thrower upper. I was like, I'm the next day nauseous type of person. And I'm like, let me try to avoid that by like getting rid of whatever God knows what is in my stomach which was a bad idea probably. But actually, I don't know, because I woke up and then I woke up like the times were always off, and I woke up and I was so feeling hungover. The first time I woke up, chugged water, and then I woke up a second time, chugged more water, and finally I was okay by the time I had to get on a plane. Thank God. So.
Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Saturday night, when we stumbled back from the arena to the hotel, Abe and I left the people we were talking to, and we were like, do you want to just get some food and go back to the hotel room and watch something? So we went and got
How
some.
are you so awake that you could watch something?
Like I said, I drink. Sometimes I'm experienced. And
You got
so
that. Yeah. Oh man, you
I
must.
I just have the tolerance to where, I was pacing myself too. Like I was having my, I'd have a vodka drink, and then I'd have some water, have another vodka drink and a water. There were no shots involved. And like normal Miguel, if we didn't have to get on the plane Sunday, it would have been like, let's go to the bar. But I'm like, no. I have been on a plane for 4 hours, hungover, not doing that. So I was like, let's go get some food. Let's go get some more water. Let's go back to the hotel room. And so we got plenty of sleep. So I felt like I was okay for the plane ride on Sunday.
Yeah, thank God, because I've been on a plane like actively hungover, and that is my quick side tangent. It happened in Atlanta one year. This was a long time ago, and going to the Atlanta airport, the security line was so long, and they had it cordoned off in like you go this way, and then you go around the what are they, like the partition?
Yeah.
Then you have to go this way. I got so dizzy and sick just going back and forth between all those partitions in the airport.
No.
So that was my one time that I was hungover flying, and I was like, never again. So
no, I could not do it.
I didn't want to do that. So that's why purposely I was like, water. And I drank water at the place too. Like I would get a water bottle, chug it, and then toss it out. And I think one of the other things, Miguel, that didn't help us, the sun, the freaking sun. It's so hot and dry out there, it dehydrates you and you don't even know it.
Yes. And my lips are still feeling like crusty.
I know, they're very dry. Yeah.
Because normally I'm just like squirting out some oil. Like, you got it, girl. I'm here if you need it. But like my body said when I was there, and I was like, ooh, and it was quick too. Like that dryness.
It does. Actually, I will say my face kind of looked better when some of that oil sucked out of it, because I was like, oh, look how smooth I look. And now today I'm back in Florida and I'm like, oh, I'm mop off my shoulder. Okay. So yeah, that was the only nice part.
I will have to just say that the entire operation of iHeartRadio, from the concert to the different activations they had for clients. Even just the technology of like streaming it, where we participated in the day stage and then for the TV production of it. It's one of the best on stage concerts I've ever seen, technically wise.
Yes.
And it was like timed out well, and all the acts that, usually any time you have more than like 2 or 3 acts perform, it's a crap show, because it's like people are running late. But it was just like boom, 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 boom.
It was a well-oiled machine. And I'm not like, just please know, we're not just saying this because, we work for iHeart now, so we got to drink the Kool-Aid. No.
Because we wouldn't say anything.
We would just be like, it was a great experience. Obviously, I hope maybe you listening have been to like a festival of sorts where there's multiple artists throughout the day, and it takes 30 minutes between acts sometimes to try to like get everybody shuffled and the new band to set up. No, this well-oiled machine, it was 3 to 5 minutes between sets. Period.
No
like they have they have technology that they do this, and I was like just so awed by that. I'm like, whoever invented this is a genius.
Yeah, because there was literally, who was it? I forgot who was finished. And I was like, all right, let me go get a drink and use the bathroom. And I went, and as I was coming out of the bathroom, I talked to someone for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And in that time, Maren Morris had started and performed a song already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just how quick it was that like you were like, oh, a bathroom break between artists. But even
Nope.
by then they had already like switched the stage and turned it around to the next person.
Yeah.
So just the entire operation. And to me,
Oh God.
So by the way, if you're watching this or listening, Holly is in Florida.
Hold on a minute.
Say, get out right now.
What's weird?
Listen carefully. I'm listening carefully. A beep? What can we click on? Oh, it's a test. Why would they test?
Oh, they're just testing to make sure.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I think they're testing in case they need it this week.
So if you're new to the podcast from Charlotte,
it works.
Holly does the show from Tampa, St. Pete, and comes up here. So she splits her time between Tampa and Charlotte when she does the show. And so right now, obviously, if you watch the news, there is a hurricane that might be making its way to Tampa or like getting some. But
it's mainly in the area. Like we're going to get some impact from it for sure.
Right. So obviously there's all that's going on right now.
So I'm just feeling it's weird. Obviously, my heart is in Charlotte. I love it. My heart's in St. Pete, Tampa. You can go back to previous, like one of the first episodes that we did for this new job, and I explain exactly why I do split my time. But it's very jarring to be in the Tampa Bay area, in the building doing radio, in my house doing radio, talking about radio in Charlotte, where there's like not a care in the world.
Talk about a mind fuck.
Right.
It's an easy peasy Monday. I'm like, well, we had the President's Cup in town. Meanwhile, like all around me physically, it's like, do you have water?
Chaos.
Sandbags. Like I'm like, like very weird.
I know it is. I mean, and like
friends are texting me, like we're trying to figure out, like, do we need storm shutters? How does it even work yet? So it's a little weird right now.
It is. I mean, even this morning during the show, Abe, because we still have our house that we built there. And so where it's like going through, because everything has just been like finalized and finished with the financials of it. And so we're like, okay, so what did we get with insurance? Like what all is covered? Like, is it in an area that could get storm surge? Like, what are we looking like? What is that? So literally Abe was online this morning, like looking at maps to like where the house is to see like.
Did you see which evacuation zone you're in or whatever?
Yeah, and all that stuff. So thankfully where the house is, it's not in, I believe he said it's not in, we're not in a flood zone or in a storm surge area either on the map. Good. So keeping our fingers crossed that is okay, because obviously, we have friends that would help us out, if we can't get down there, but they're trying to get their own shit together for their own houses. So we're just kind of like,
right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. So I apologize. If anything else comes through, I'll let you know. But back to the matter at hand.
So please be careful for our Tampa, St. Pete, Florida fam. Yeah. Please keep yourself safe. Yes. But so Vegas, but back to what iHeart and just how the talent that normally is there on stage doing stuff, like Ryan Seacrest hosts it. And then you have like Elvis Duran and Bobby Bones, and Angela Yee from The Breakfast Club and Big Boy from Power, or from Real in Los Angeles are there doing stuff on stage. And so, I mean, they bring out the heavy hitters that are there. And then it was us.
And then they brought us.
We were like, hey, y'all.
We were like, we're
from Charlotte.
We're
from Charlotte.
Kelvin, first of all, next time, I believe we're going to be able to have you come. I don't want to speak out of turn, but like everything happened so fast this time. But when we were there and we were meeting these folks who are like in LA or Chicago or New York, where they're like, and by the way, everyone is so friendly.
Oh my gosh.
I assumed very wrongly that like some of these radio personalities that have been in the game for decades or at least like years or they're in big cities and they have syndication would be like, who the fuck are you people? But, yeah. And then like they wouldn't want to talk to us or whatever. Not the case. Every one of them are super nice. So having said that, every time we ran into some of these people, they would be like, oh, so y'all are new to the company. Welcome. They're so friendly. And then they're like, where y'all from? And we were like, Charlotte. And then every single one was kind of like, where's that? North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. okay.
And
And we
they're
were just like,
y'all are here?
Y'all were invited to
even
sit
know
with
where
us?
Charlotte lived.
No, but
Like-
they were like, wow, like iHeart really must believe in you all if they, sent you all here. So that was the
Yeah.
really cool. So they had us do some
I felt very proud.
hosting of one of their big sponsors for the daytime stage for the stream, and then they had us do a little on-air banter with JoJo Wright, who does nights on Kiss FM in LA, who's been on forever there and is a legend in his own right at nights in LA. And he's hosted a reality show before on TV in the mid 2000s. So just being in that orbit with those people and how nice and friendly they were was just really, 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 really cool.
Even Chris Booker, who, Miguel, you had to tell me who he was for a second because first of all, I couldn't see him. He had a hat on and sunglasses, and he was actively, I believe, still drunk from the night before when we met him. And Miguel's like, he used to be on MTV. I was like, oh. And then I remembered. And then I told you, Miguel, at that time, I was like, Chris Booker. I'm like, I don't know if I remember him from MTV, but I'm like, I recognize him because once he had the glasses and the hat off, I was like, oh, that guy. I figured out where it was that I recognized him from. In the early 2000s, VH1 did this television series called I Love the 70s, and then they did I Love the 80s, and then I Love the 90s. And he was a very frequent commentator on that series of shows, and he's hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
Because I remember loving watching those shows on VH1. That was before social media. And like, it was like, they had all these celebrities that were commenting on pop culture from the 70s and the 80s, and he was one of those people, and he had a lot of airtime on those. And I was like, that's where I knew that guy from.
Gotcha.
So and he was really kind.
Yeah, I mean, he was super sweet, super nice. So just overall, like that was just a really cool experience. But we need to talk about I don't want to say it wasn't. Let's just say what happened.
How about underwhelming?
Yes, and I don't want to say who it is. I want to have the discussion first before we say who the celebrity is. So one of the really cool things we got to do is we got to meet the CEO of iHeart Media, Bob Pittman, who was one of the creators of MTV and VH1 and is a legend in the broadcasting world. And he is one of the architects of what we now know of as iHeart Media, because it used to be Clear Channel. Holly and I both worked for Clear Channel way back in the early 2000s. It was a completely different company than what it is now. It's the number one forward-thinking broadcasting company. So we got to meet him.
Yeah.
On the second night,
which
was huge.
We were like
literally we were on the platform having drinks, and he was there talking to somebody and his wife. And we were literally like standing by them for probably like 5 minutes trying to
shuffling around nervously.
Right. Just trying to find a good spot because it's loud. The iHeart Festival is going on and we don't want to be rude, because I saw the night before on the platform that obviously everyone wants to get their time with Bob Pittman and they want to say hi. And so he is very gracious and just saying hi to everybody. And so, you know how like when you see somebody who you know that they like might know you, like you don't, or if someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, remember when we met like 3 years ago? And they're like, yeah. So we went up to him and wanted to be like, hey, we're Miguel and Holly from show. And he goes, oh, absolutely. Yes. I'm so happy that y'all joined the company. We're like, oh, he remembered us. That's so cool.
I mean, I don't know if he was pretending, but he really seemed like he remembered us.
He did. He legit was like, oh yeah, oh my God, I'm so glad that we got you all. You're in the company. It's great. Have you all been backstage yet? And we were like, no, we don't have those credentials to go backstage.
We're like, no, wait, that's not our circus. That's
No.
weird. But it seems cool.
Yeah,
like,
everything's
this is
nice.
great, Bob and Mr. Pittman.
And he was like, well, do y'all have passes to go to this like backstage little bar area? And we were like
a record label.
Yeah, record labels and stuff like that. We were like, no, we don't have that. And he goes,
I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Mm-mm. He went on his lanyard and was like, here, I want you two to go, and took them off of his lanyard, gave us 2 passes, and said, I want you to go experience this.
Oh,
and we were like
children. We were like, oh my God, we got a present.
Oh my God. And we were like, thank you, Bob. Can we get a picture real quick?
We made her get a picture after that. He's probably like, these kids.
And then what sucks so much is that, like, as you know, because usually when we do pictures like that, I'll do the selfie. And so I feel like I'm really good at taking selfies.
You are.
But because obviously stage lights and it's dark, the first photo came out horrible.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, we only got one shot at this. So I'm like, oh, the lighting's bad. Can we like turn around and do this? And I'm sure he was like, these yahoos, like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, I'm sorry.
Social media and pictures matter, Bob. He's the first one that should probably tell us that.
Right. And so we turned around, got the picture, and we gave hugs, and we were off on our way. So then Holly and I went back to this place that was like behind the stage.
The secret lounge.
Oh my gosh. And it was like all the big freaking people of iHeartRadio are back there. Like the executives and Bobby Bones and, the big time heavy hitters are back there. So we're talking to Menace, who is on the Woody Show, our alternative station in LA. And we're just like chatting about, being backstage and what it's like being in the company. And all of a sudden, Holly's like, oh my God, Miguel, do you see who that is? And there was this big celebrity that was sitting right there on one of the couches.
Right. And right near me. And I looked and I did like a double take and I was like, oh, what?
Oh my God, they are there.
I slapped Miguel. I was like, look who it is.
I'm not trying to derail this story, but just a quick interjection. What was the food like? Because there had to have been food, right?
I didn't see any food.
They had sushi back there.
Oh.
Dang it, I wish I would have got some. Then I probably would have had to make myself throw up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't see any food. It was very dark, by the way. It was very dark in there and very like
that's
the
what I envisioned in my
ambiance
head.
was yes. It was, and it for some reason it was very blue lit. Like dark velvet, blue lit. I didn't see any food. We clearly did not get a drink there. We were just there to say hello.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I had any pictures of that. No.
It looked. Was I like dreaming, or did it seem like they had like a jungle motif in there?
Yes, it was, because it was very like green, and they had like fake trees in there.
I knew it. It just felt very like exotic.
Yes,
that's the word.
Yes, absolutely. So Holly's like, I'm gonna go ask if we can take a picture with this celebrity. And so
you get
we're
one shot, right? That's what Miguel said.
Right.
One shot.
And I was like, all right, cool. We only got one shot. So let's walk over. So this person had just taken a photo with someone. They sat down.
But it looked like someone that they had been familiar with, by the way. Because they were chatting with that person and I was waiting because it looked like they sort of knew that person and they had like a very small 1 minute long conversation. And then the celebrity turned back around and sat back down on the couch.
Right. And so they were sitting on the right side of the couch. There was someone on the left side. And then there were like two people behind the couch that were like sitting on the top part of the couch. And they went back into the conversation with them. And so Holly leaned down and was like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. Love your work. Can we get a really quick picture with you? And Holly, what did they say?
They said, make it quick.
So
this did not deter me though.
And
it did not deter me.
Oh no.
I could have just been like, I'm sorry, never mind. I was like, we are such big fans. We love your work. Would you mind if we get a quick picture? Make it quick. And I was like, I like grab Miguel. I'm like,
so I'm like bending down. I'm like, okay. Because normally I take a second to like, make sure like it's still.
It's like we were not quite prepared. Like Miguel's like fumbling his phone. Like
the way I'm leaned into this picture.
I need to see this.
It's dark. There's jungle feet.
Like, so I'm bent down. Like the person didn't get up from the couch. They didn't stand up.
Did not
so
get, obviously.
Holly had to like lean forward into them. And then I'm trying to like get on my knees. I have on these tight ass white pants and I'm like, my crotch is going to bust out. So I'm trying to like get in and go quickly. So I'm going to show the camera right here, the picture, but I'm going to make sure you can't see them.
Oh,
hold on. Because I want us to have the discussion of was that rude or not before we say who it is. So this is us in the picture. Like
we're not even like my hair looks. We are not posed. We're just like, hey.
Like my face is big. Like I'm far away. I mean, it was a mess.
Hey, we're here.
So then we took it, and it was like they had a very lukewarm smile. So in the picture, they look like, oh, hey, y'all. But it was very much.
I haven't even seen really the picture yet. So,
well, it's like, as Holly asked, and we were getting ready, they kind of had that like okay, let's take the picture. And then they smiled. And then as soon as the picture was over, they were like, and turned around and went back to the conversation.
Like immediately then just turn back to the conversation, which I understand.
So this is the discussion I want to have. Like, is it rude or not? Because Abe and I were talking about it on the plane ride back yesterday. And I was like, all right, my thoughts on this have sort of changed through the years as we've had this job. Years ago, when I was in college and I was home for one of the holidays, I was at one of the malls in Atlanta at, I think, Lenox Mall, and I saw Usher, and he was was dating Chili from TLC. And they were out shopping with their kids. I saw them in a store, and I like grabbed a receipt, or asked the person at the cash register, can I have a receipt paper so I could have Usher sign a thing? He was with his family. He just scribbled his name. Literally never. I was like, hey, Usher, so nice to meet you. Love your work. Can I get an autograph? And he never like vocalized anything. Took the pen, scribbled Usher or something that looked like Usher, and then turned around and went back. For years, I was like, F Usher, he was so rude, blah, blah, blah. And then as I got into the radio, and then, you know, we've had success in different places, and I've had people approach me in times that weren't optimal for me, but I still was always like, oh, hey, let me be nice. I now have given Usher total grace in that situation because I was in the wrong for approaching him when he was with someone's kids. I should have never approached him. That was a private moment. I do not have ownership of Usher. That is not for me to disturb a private moment. If we're at a meet and greet, if he's doing work, that's completely understandable, but that was not, I shouldn't have done that. So I've totally changed my mind on that situation. So what I'm sort of going back and forth about this is that this is a work situation. And this is a person that was there to maybe promote something, or who knows why they were there. I'm sort of on the side of that was rude. Because if we had tried to like engage them in a conversation, we clearly were just like, hey, can we get a quick picture? We weren't even trying to be like, hey, can you do a video to my mama Nib? Can I FaceTime my mom real quick and say hi? Like, can you
do this famous line really quick?
Oh, no.
Right.
Or whatever.
So because I for a little bit was like, well, maybe we shouldn't have disturbed them because they clearly were in a group of friends chit-chatting, and, you know, was just probably wanting to be private. That's why they were in that little back area.
Yeah.
What do you think, Colin?
Okay, so here's what I solidly was in the that was rude category. Like 100%, both feet in. I was like, they didn't have to do it like that. Like, if I would have tried to like start a conversation, that would have been one thing that this person probably could have been like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something. But I literally, the only thing I asked for was, I said, we're big fans. Can I get a picture? That's it. Make it quick. Okay, well, all right. Sorry. Like, I immediately felt terrible. But so I was like, that was rude. Like, it didn't have to go down like that. But I told one of my close friends, my best friend, told my best friend who it was. And so I was like, so yeah, this person was like, make it quick. And she's like, well, it was nice of her to do a picture. And I was like, actually, yeah. I said her already. Sorry. I can't keep playing like it's not her.
Oh, no.
So it was
only
her.
half of the
Now we only know
population.
half. So and then I reframed it in my mind, having listened to what Aaron said. Aaron's like, well, it was nice of her to do a picture. It was. She actually didn't have to. Like you said, Miguel, we don't have ownership of any celebrity. Like, she could have just been like, no pictures, please. Because celebrities do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and they have every right
well
to.
within their rights. And they have every right to not want to do a picture if they're not feeling it. They don't owe us anything. So she very easily could have just been like, no, thank you, I'm not doing pictures. And then I would have been like, okay. And that probably I would have been like, well, damn, how am I supposed to tell people that I met you? But she did. She did the picture. So I guess I'm half in the it was rude camp and half in the, well, she did do it. So that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, it was nice of her to acquiesce to that request. Were we owed like excitement on her part? I don't know. Or instead of being like, make it quick, which she did have a tone, it could have just been like, sure. And then I would have just done it. And it would have been the same length of interaction. Yeah. I think maybe the make it quick was maybe a little bit rude.
Yeah. Kelvin, what do you think?
Don't do something if you're going to have a stank attitude about it. Like easily could have been like, no, like I'm just here relaxing, like with friends. Like I'm not doing that tonight. That's it. That's all you needed to do. Instead,
and even
you said
that
the rude
didn't
comment.
have to be rude. Even that didn't have to be
no,
rude.
It doesn't. It could, and it she could say it in the most monotone way, and it would not be rude. I'm very monotone, and I guess it could come off sometimes rude, but I'm not. I just whatever. This isn't about me. But she could have easily just said, "No, not taking photos tonight. I'm just chilling backstage
with friends."
With friends. That's it. And you wouldn't have had an opinion or not. And you probably would have said right now, if that's what went down, you would have said, she just didn't want to take photos, and that was that. But it was really
because
cool to meet
we
her.
do give celebrities the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
We do.
Right.
Not having seen a lot and understand and been on the end of people wanting to come up and say hi to you. And I always try to remember, like, you only have one chance to make a first impression. So if any, I encourage, if I'm ever out and people see me, I'd love to say hi. And I'm genuinely excited that anyone would want to take a picture with me or meet me or whatever. So I can see it from both sides. And sometimes, like, you're just not in a mood. Even then, I can flip a switch and I'm like, let me just do this quick interaction. Doesn't take much.
And I guess that for me is why, like, I see what Aaron is saying, but at the same time, like, you're in this environment. Like, it's, to me, it would be like if I'm doing a broadcast somewhere and I'm like, no pictures. Like, I am there to, like, be around you, even if I'm not feeling my best. But I mean, I guess that's the difference between, like, a radio person and someone of their stature, is that they feel like they have the ability to be like, I don't, or be stank about it, I guess, if that's what you want to say.
They have the privilege of not being nice all the time.
Right.
Is it privilege? Maybe they have the, whatever word I'm looking for. Like, they don't owe anybody anything. Right. Even kindness.
I'm not here for it. Being at that height in their career, you're gonna expect that, even in a professional setting, right? Like, somebody else could waltz in here and have that opinion. Like, you're in a professional setting,
right?
Like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Okay, it's not like,
that's fine.
We saw them eating a private dinner at a private restaurant, like,
right? Exactly. You're in a social. You're at a fucking concert, like,
right? I mean, I have like years and years and years ago when we were in Panama City. I remember I was at Applebee's in Panama City with like 5 of my friends, and these 2 girls came over. They were probably like in college or high school or something, and we were actively eating, and they came up to the table and they were like, "Hey, Miguel, how are you? We love the show with you, Kramer and Holly." And we were like, I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And they were like, "Can we get a picture?" And I was like, "Sure." So my 2 friends had to, like, scoot out of the booth. I had to get out, put my fork down, take a picture. I was fine, got back in. And then this is where I was like, okay, this is awkward. I got back in the booth. My friends got back in. They picked up their forks, and then the girls didn't leave. And then they were like, "Well, what about?" And they asked us about some bit we did. And then I could just feel my other friends at the table be like, "Okay,
that's too much.
We'll entertain the picture, but this is too much."
Right.
So, like, and I get it. Like, I should have put the boundaries up then and been like, "Hey, thank you. Got the picture. My friends are eating. I don't want to disturb them," or something like that, you know? But, like, to me, I am legit in the bottom of my soul. My house, the things that I have, my ring, my phone, my hair, I would not have any of that if the people that come up to us and take pictures with us didn't do that. So I am forever grateful, because literally it's not like I sit behind a computer and I'm doing a banking job and I'm contributing to the, like, I would not have this job or the things that I have if it weren't for you listening. So I am eternally grateful for whenever someone comes up and they say hi, because, like, that may have made your day, because we have this intimate relationship with you where you listen to us on the podcast or in the morning. And I am so grateful for that. So that's why it's so hard for me to wrap my brain around someone who's in that setting at the iHeartRadio Music Festival backstage with a bunch of radio people who are gonna go back and talk about your experiences. Like, wouldn't you want for me to go back to my city and be like, I had the best interaction with this person. It was so great. They are so cool. They are so chill. Like, we talked to Jax for 2 seconds. We saw her in passing as she got off stage. And like, that was a point where I didn't want to say hi, but I was like, hey, we just interviewed her. So let's just say hi real quick. And like, she was tired. She was hot in this big jumpsuit. And her team was clearly like, she needs to get back and take this off and cool down. But she was like, oh my God, I remember talking to you all. Da, 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 da.
She like complimented my outfit. Like we had a whole moment, and she's like still. I'm sure as she grows in popularity, she'll keep that about her. But she's still so humble about like this life.
Right. And so like for me, like that was, she didn't have to do that. She could have been like, oh my God, I remember you guys, and then kept on her way. So that's why the more I think about it, sort of just like rubs me the wrong way.
I loved back in South Florida when I would get recognized. I loved that shit.
I
I miss it. But
It'll come.
It always does. But I will say, do you think at the height, Holly did not like that one.
I got it though. I got it
Do
though.
you think that at her level of fame, maybe she's just fucking over it? Like, I think there's a difference between a Jax and
Absolutely,
person
there's
that
a difference between Jax and this celebrity.
Yeah.
Um,
So I wonder if that has to play into it. Like, do we consider that, and are we able to see it from that perspective? Because we are seeing it from a different level than her stardom.
we are, but I want to put. Would you say that The Rock is bigger or the same as or something along the lines of this celebrity?
Oh, bigger.
Bigger.
Like
Bigger.
110%.
I just have a feeling if we ran into The Rock in the same situation, that would not have been the reaction.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I can't say for sure
Right.
because you just see him loving people,
Yeah.
appreciating people for putting him where he is. He could be an asshole in real life. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it.
Right.
But it just felt like I just feel like it just depends on the person. I don't think the celebrity status matters. That's what I'm getting at with this.
Right.
Like, he's probably one of the biggest stars on the planet, and I have a feeling it would not be that way.
Right.
Well, and also, was that phrase that Oprah says all the time that like being famous or having money doesn't make you a better or worse person? It just exposes who you are.
It just amplifies who you are.
Right, amplifies who you are. So I'm also wondering, just to throw in another side of this, maybe what if this person is really shy? Because what you know this person for, you would be hard pressed to think that they were shy, because when you see them do their job, they're very outlandish. They're very
Wait. Before you go off on the shy thing, are we equating make it quick to shyness?
Possibly, because maybe they didn't want to do small talk, because some people that are shy don't want to do small talk because it gives them anxiety.
This ain't their first time at the rodeo with this interaction, though.
Mm.
That's where I would agree if maybe it was a new girl on the block. And maybe they're like not media trained, and hey, this is how you should handle it, like with their new PR person, and they're like, fuck you, I'm not gonna do that. No, I think this person has ridden a few horses in the rodeo.
Okay.
The rodeo.
I have to put this up because Stefan said, girl, give us the tea. Who was it?
I'm fucking waiting for it.
Miguel.
Leslie Jones.
Oh.
Yep.
Let's see that photo. Cough it up. Let me see that photo.
Yes, ma'am. Leslie Jones.
And we got to go here in a second. We have a
Shout out to Brent and Krista, some SoFlo peoples.
Oh,
Some
that's
good peoples.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
She looks happy.
Yes, in the picture, she looks happy because obviously that's going to be, who knows what we might do with that picture. She's not going to put a stank face on in the picture.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's unfortunate. She looks so pretty too.
Yeah, I
She
mean,
looks gorgeous.
like literally, that's as we were like about like looking over at her. I was like, oh my god, she is just like amazing. Like, just I mean, bam, bam, bam. She had it together. Hair, lips, nails, the dress. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so just to have that, because then like what happens is like you just sort of feel deflated. And so like we left the area back there, and like we were going to after that. We went back and talked to our friend we were talking to real quick. And then someone's like, oh, Bobby Bones is here. So we were going to go say hi to him. But I literally just didn't want to be in that room anymore. Like, I was just kind of like, I sort of felt like, you know how like we said everybody else, we're like, oh, you're from Charlotte. That's so cool that you got the chance to be here. I felt like, why the fuck are you in here? Like,
yeah, I definitely felt like, why?
People back here don't ask for pictures. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
That's why I was just kind of like, all right, well, let's just go back. Let's go check on Abe. Let's go.
I know. And then I was like, well, we got to get to Abe. Well.
Because people easily could have been like, oh, you're from Charlotte?
Right.
No, they said, oh, you're from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Cool.
But in that room, it was a little weird. But I really wanted to get Miguel an audience with Bobby Bones, because I know that you guys have actually had like online communications, and I would have really liked to have set that whole, but I was like waiting, and I was like, it's not gonna happen. Not to Bobby's fault. It was just everybody wants to talk to Bobby Bones.
Right.
And we just weren't able to squeeze in. So after waiting for enough time, I was like, yeah, no, we leave.
Yeah. I was like, I just felt really uncomfortable after that interaction with her, because then I just felt like, because then like, you know, that her friends, just with the whole interaction, probably once we walked away, the friends were like, well, who is that? Like, why did they?
Like, why are they here asking for pictures in the backstage?
Right. So I was like, let's just go.
Aren't you safe from fans back here at least? And I was like, oh God, Bob Pittman gave us his passes and we're never going to be asked back.
Right. So I don't know. I was not expecting that from someone like a Leslie Jones. And like, and this won't turn me off to her. Like, I won't be like, oh my God. And maybe it was just a bad day. I don't know.
A lot of times people have bad days. What are you going to do? You can't judge someone's entire personality on one interaction.
Right. But it just was not what I was expecting with that. And to like, we were so genuinely shocked when we saw that she was back there. We were like, oh my God, this is so cool. Leslie Jones is here.
Like, you just don't see celebrities that freaking often.
Right.
I mean, maybe the people in that room do.
Right. Because I mean, all the people from like LA and New York and stuff, you know, Bobby, like they all live in that stratosphere, you know?
Yeah, they see each other, and we're not those people. So like, we do still get excited. I don't know. I think we're slightly charming about that, but clearly not everybody thinks so.
So that was that part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. But everything else was...
Aside from that one very, very, very small thing, which had nothing to do with the festival. It was just an interaction. So the whole rest of the thing was amazing.
Brent, real quick, said, I remember when I met Kelvin. He's a celebrity in Miami, and he was exactly as I expected. I even got a hug.
Yes!
Look at that!
Good people!
Yay! All right, let's do some quick shout outs before we go. Stefan, I believe that's Juicy Little Tidbit was on here. Francisco, Amy, Melanie, Cardad, let's see.
Caridad.
Elizabeth, Doe Eyes, Rosa. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And Krista.
We love y'all.
Thank you so much. So appreciated. Holly, what's all of your social media?
Radio Holly on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And what I did is I made a little on my Instagram. You know how you can do, I don't know what they're called. Like when you're on your page of the Instagram, there's different folders.
The highlights.
Mm-hmm. I did a highlight of all the things iHeartFest. So if you want to just see some of the cool shit that we were very lucky enough to see, it's there.
Producer Calvin?
BT Dubs, your guys' Laura Top Life is my Krista.
Oh!
So the same energy.
Same vibes.
Yes.
Okay, Krista, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome to the Platypus Posse. Can't wait to hear some of these Krista stories.
At Calvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. The OnlyFans is under construction.
Oh, under construction. When is it going to be done? 2025?
Maybe a Christmas present.
Oh,
Whenever the summer body comes in.
All right. Okay.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me anywhere. Thank you so much, and we will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.